I'm Mrs. Wiepert, and I'd like to welcome all of you, and especially our honored guests, which are our 4th and 5th grade students here today for our K-Prep Awards ceremony. And so Mrs. Jones and I are going to be handing out certificates and trophies and medals to recognize the great work that our students did on the K-Prep test last year. And they are getting ready to prepare for those tests, which will be coming up in May. And so at this time, I'm going to turn the program over to Mrs. Atcher.
Okay, good evening. I probably don't need this microphone, but I'm required to use it. So thank you all again for being here. I'm going to apologize if you're a little cool. The last performance we had, it was a little hot, so I'd rather be cold than hot. So I'm going to apologize if you all have to put your sweater on, so I'm sorry. Just to let you know the awards we will be giving tonight, these are testing awards from last year. So the students who took K-Prep last year, which last year they were in 3rd and 4th grade, we will award them again distinguished. I'll go over that in just a little bit. The students who went on to East Hardin, we actually go to East tomorrow and we recognize those students for their accomplishments as well. So again, we really appreciate you being here. I know the weather's nice outside. We're gonna do our very best to try to recognize the students who are here, but I always also do not want to leave anybody out. So I'm gonna try to remember who's here. We've got a list, but I will probably go ahead and call the student's name the best I can, and just in case they come in late, I don't want to miss anybody, okay? So we're going to start out with fourth grade, or actually 3rd grade from last year, and those students took the reading and math test. Like Ms. Wiepert said, we do have testing coming up in May. It's May 13th through the 17th. You will hear your students, I'm sure, talking about it. If at all possible, if they can make sure and be here all 5 days, that will be fantastic. Those students sitting here are receiving awards for their accomplishments. They did great on the test. It just makes their life a little bit easier so they don't have to do makeup testing later. So just so you have those dates, and those were also on the end of or on the bottom of the report card that came home. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. But I just wanted to let you know those dates so they can try and be here as well. So with that being said, the students are going to receive a certificate. I feel like I'm awkward here. A certificate. If they received a distinguished in anything, they're going to receive a trophy, and then proficient will receive medals. So what I will do is I will call the student's name, and then if they'll come forward, we'll save our applause to the very end if that's okay, so that we can get everyone recognized. So we're going to start out with Houston Backham. Houston received a proficient in reading and a proficient in math. No, that's good. Hannah Black. Is Hannah here? Brandon Blankenship. I don't think he's here tonight. Julianne Brindle. Julianne received proficient in reading. Kara Caswell. Tyler Sissel. Maddie Clan. Casey Collins. And Casey received proficient in reading and math. Guys, when you come down, if your parents want a picture, you don't have to run back to your seat. You can stay and get a picture, okay?
I really want a picture.
You'll have to get a redo on that, Casey. Dylan Cook. Shiloh Dalton. Connor Dupin. Connor received a distinguished in reading and a distinguished in math. Peyton Fry. Peyton received a distinguished in reading and a proficient in math. Leanna Green, proficient in reading and proficient in math. Isabel Hayes. Isabel here? No. Cameron Hill. Cameron received distinguished in reading and distinguished in math. Chaz Jones. Chaz received a proficient in reading and is distinguished in math. Make sure he gets a picture with you. Maya Jorgensen. Maya received distinguished in reading and proficient in math. Gotcha. Oh, gotcha. Christopher Kaderis. Christopher received a distinguished in math. Josh King. Josh received proficient in reading and proficient in math. Ashton Conkle Clark received proficient in math. Allison Lambert, distinguished in reading and distinguished in math. Amber Lewis, distinguished in reading and proficient in math. She's coming. Cash Longoria received proficient in reading and proficient in math. Jessica Maserata received proficient in reading and proficient in math. I'm not sure if Jessica's here. Addie McMichael received distinguished in reading and proficient in math. Alex Meredith received distinguished in reading. Aurora Miller, I'm sure Aurora is here. Jacob Peters. Jacob received proficient in reading and proficient in math. Will Richardson received proficient in math. Naomi Roby received proficient in reading. Is Diesel here? I think so. Bobby Stowe received proficient in math. Abby Strain received proficient in reading and proficient in math. Tyler Underwood received proficient in reading and proficient in math. Haley Wagner. Haley received proficient in math. Ava Walker, proficient in reading and proficient in math. Luke Williams, is Luke here? I don't think so. Sabella Wolford, Sabella here. Austin Young. Okay, so that will finish out. Actually, they took this test as a third grader, so let's give our fourth grade students currently a round of applause. Okay, and now our current fifth grade students, we will recognize them. They took this test as a fourth grader, and they could receive an award in the area of reading, math, and science. Just so you know too, like the fourth graders this year will take the reading, math, and science. There is a language component of it as well. And then fifth grade this year will take reading, math, social studies, and an on-demand writing. So just so you know what your child is going to be taking come May, okay? So we'll start with Miss Brooklyn Allen. And Brooklyn received a proficient in math. Brian Bailey. Here. I don't think he's here. Addie Barnes. Gracie Blair. Gracie received proficient in reading, proficient in math, and proficient in science. Kaylee Bunch. Kaylee received proficient in reading and proficient in math. Houston Caswell. Houston received a proficient in math. Haley Clark. Is Haley here? Haley Cobb, Lila Coley, Trey Cooper, Brady Copeland. Brady received a proficient in reading and a distinguished in math. Bo Davis. Bo received a proficient in math. Tiffany, proficient in math. She's good. Okay, proficient in math. Caleb Downs. Caleb. Thatcher Edlin. Thatcher received a proficient in reading and a distinguished in math. Lily Ferguson. Colin Fulkerson. Distinguished in reading, distinguished in math, proficient in science. Katie Fulkerson. Katie received proficient in reading and distinguished in math. Gage Gass, proficient in reading. Braden Gray. Braden here. Sadie Hess. Jamie Lynn Jarnigan received a proficient in reading, proficient in math, and a proficient in science. Harper Jones. Harper's here. Stephen Kaderis. Stephen received proficient in reading, distinguished in math, and proficient in science. Delilah Lamb. Delilah received a proficient in math. Jody Logston. Jody here? I think so. David Lynch. Kobe McMillan. Cody Merchant. Olivia Miles. Olivia received proficient in reading and proficient in science. Logan Mentor received proficient in math. Thomas Newcomb. Lexi Patterson. Lexi received a proficient in reading and a proficient in math. Lily Pretty. Bryson Puckett. Leah Riggs. Leah received a distinguished in reading, distinguished in math, proficient in science. Tabby Riggs received proficient in reading. Noah Ronk received proficient in reading and distinguished in math. Olivia Salee. Olivia here. So. Jaden Schaefer. Jaden received proficient in reading, distinguished in math, and proficient in science. Cheyenne Vanderslice, she received proficient in reading and proficient in science. Abby Williams received proficient in reading and proficient in math. Okay, so those are our 5th grade students currently that tested last year as 4th grade students. Let's give them a huge round of applause. Ms. Weeper's going to give a little bit of information here, but we appreciate you being here, guys. We really appreciate your hard work during testing. We know it's not easy, and all we do is ask you to do your best. So just looking ahead, just remember that, okay? We're proud of you.